Hi everybody, my name's Jackie Hodson and I am the founder of Gut Health Solutions and the Gut Reset Bootcamp. And I've been working with Gut Health now for over 7 years, taking clients through our carefully crafted program, which is a gut reset program, which addresses the gut microbiome and gut health. And while supporting clients through this program, it never ceases to amaze me the amazing results that clients have by addressing the gut microbiome, looking at the gut bacteria and basically giving the body a reset. And it really is having life-changing results. So when I came across the opportunity to look at another program which works on the gut microbiome, but also helps to increase the production of the GLP-1 hormone naturally, I jumped at the chance. What this program basically does is it's a natural alternative to the weight loss jabs. It works on the gut microbiome by activating the gut to produce the GLP-1 hormone, and it's been shown in clinical trials, as I'll show you a bit later on, to increase the natural hormone by up to 220% in just 12 weeks. So it's obviously a much healthier and safer way of addressing your gut health rather than taking these injectables. So just to give you a bit of background, in January 25, I read an article in a magazine I subscribed to called What Doctors Don't Tell You. And it really set off the alarm bells because it talked about the dangers of these weight loss jabs and highlighted some of the horrendous side effects. Now, I'd not really known much about the weight loss jabs until this point, but then shortly afterwards, I started getting lots of calls from people wanting to do the gut reset program, and they were reporting things like hair loss, muscle loss, gaunt faces and looking ill, extreme nausea, vomiting. Some people were actually unable to eat anything. They had severe constipation. We had people with diarrhea as well. Skin issues. Lots of people were rebounding the weight. So because they were injecting a synthetic hormone, the body was stopping producing it. And then as soon as they stopped doing the injections, they were rebounding the weight straight back on. And I've even had clients that have been hospitalized from using these products. So this has been shared with permission by one of my clients because she's really keen to get the word out there as to the dangers of these injectables. So she had a severe outbreak all over her body, which completely flummoxed the doctors. She had countless skin allergy tests to see if she was allergic to anything, but nothing showed up. And the only difference to her life was that she'd been taking the Mounjaro injection for 3 months. And you can see here, look at the state of her skin. It's just absolutely awful. Poor lady, and I'm so grateful for her to give us permission to be able to share this for you today. So I then started to take even more notice now as the media began reporting on story after story. So we can see one here talking about fatal outcomes. There was an influencer talking about it, somebody talking about the nightmare. And this one here is talking about Ozempic face. So lots of people taking these injections, and they're not just losing, when they're losing weight, they're not just losing fat weight, they're also losing muscle weight, and then they're ending up with what they're calling the Ozempic face there. Here's some more. And this was part of the article from that magazine I just mentioned earlier, and it's talking about the deaths from these products. So it says since 2019, the agency has received over 37,000 adverse event reports on semaglutide alone. So for those, over 16,000 were logged as serious, including 505 deaths. Just let that sink in. They include septic shock, gastrointestinal blocks, pancreatitis, pancreatic cancer, blood clots in the lungs, blindness, anorexia, suicide, episodes of psychosis and depression, and more. And then you start looking at the other injectables such as Mounjaro and Wegovy, then it's going on to even more adverse reactions. This one here is talking about stomach paralysis, so some people actually having to be tube fed. Mounjaro, I've read, has actually been linked to thyroid cancer, so they're actually having to put a label on a warning on the label. And unfortunately, here this poor nurse had only taken a second dose of a low dose of the injection Mounjaro, and unfortunately, it killed her. And then we can go on to the famous Sharon Osbourne, that most people know her from her days on X Factor. She's had some really alarming results. I mean, look at the state of her there compared to what she normally looks like. And so I'd undercovered a problem but I just didn't know what the solution was. I had an idea that it had to be something to do with the gut because I've been working with gut health for so long, and I know that the gut is responsible for so many things in our body. And so I then heard of a friend who was talking about this natural solution to the weight loss jabs. And I am a firm believer that when you're looking for something, that it comes to you. And what I found was a natural GLP-1 activation product. So enter the dual activation, dual amplification, mind body GLP-1 program. So what is GLP-1? So GLP-1 is a hormone and it stands for glucagon-like peptide 1. It's produced in specialized cells called L cells in the colon. And like many things in our body that our body produces, GLP-1 declines over time due to poor diet, lifestyle choices, and natural aging process. So what GLP-1 does? So most importantly, it restores communication along the gut-brain axis. So some of you might have heard people saying that the gut is like the second brain. In fact, just an interesting fact is that over 90% of serotonin, which is our happy hormone, is actually produced in the gut. So back to the GLP-1, it helps restore communication to your brain. It reduces hunger signals, cravings, and helps you to feel fuller longer. A balanced GLP-1 levels equals a healthy relationship with food and more control over cravings. So it slows down the rate food leaves the stomach so that you're feeling fuller for longer. It helps blood sugar regulation, supports cardiovascular health, helps to reduce activated stress, improves mood. It's got neuroprotection qualities and it helps with better liver, kidney, and pancreatic health. So here's an image on what GLP-1 affects in the body. So we've got the brain, the stomach, the pancreas, muscles, liver, heart, and I'll just encourage you to pause the video there and have a read of that. So enter the dual activation, dual amplification MB system. So the MB GLP-1 system directly activates GLP-1 pathways in L cells and indirectly activates the GLP-1 by optimizing the gut microbiome to create short-chain fatty acids and fuel production. It also amplifies GLP-1 production by increasing GLP-1 receptors and decreasing the enzyme that breaks down the GLP-1. So the company first looked at in vitro results. So this is what happens on a slide under a microscope. And they found that there was 116% upregulation of the GCG gene, creating, I'm going to try and read this properly, proglucagon, a precursor protein for GLP-1. There was a 55% increased GLP-1R expression, which promotes increased GLP-1 receptors. 10% decrease in DPP4 gene that breaks down GLP-1, and over 11,500% increase in PYY and PPY genes. These are those that create neuropeptides that communicate along the gut-brain axes. And then 122% GLP-1 secretion. This is a true amount and not a measure of activity. So they then went to third-party clinical trials and looking at the blood panel results in a human clinical trial of 80 people over 12 weeks on the international formulas, and these are the results that came up. So there was a 220% increase in GLP-1. 88% had an improvement in A1C by 0.5 units. This is to do with blood sugar levels for diabetics, pre-diabetics. 122% average GIP increase. Now that's glucose-dependent insulinotropic polypeptide, or GIP-1, which is a hormone made in the small intestine. It's a powerful partner to GLP-1 that's released after meals to help the body process food by regulating metabolism, insulin response, and fat storage. There was a 74% increase in pancreatic polypeptides, which is a hormone in the gut that helps with slowing gastric emptying, modulating appetite and food intake, and then a 5% leptin increase, which is your fullness hormone. Now, the subjective results are what people felt, how they felt during the programme. 80% reported a decrease in food cravings. 80% reported a decrease in sugar cravings. 94% had a decrease in alcohol cravings, 97% experienced a decrease in soda cravings, or you might call them fizzy drinks. 89% experienced decrease in fast food cravings. Then we had 91% experienced decreased portion size at meals. 86% felt decreased appetite. 80% felt satisfied between meals, and 77% had an increased ability to resist snacking. Now, if you're not impressed by that, well, let's look at the biometric data. So up to 8.6% of body fat, there was up to 8.6% body fat decrease, up to 8.1% subcutaneous fat decrease, and then up to 18.8% visceral fat decrease in just 12 weeks. That's the fat that surrounds our organs. This is the important one. Then people had a 7.2 up to 7.2% skeletal muscle increase and up to 6.4% or 14 pounds in weight loss, and that's just across the 12 weeks. Now, the company has found that by adding in an NRF2 synergizer called Protandim, clients get even better results. So Protandim is their flagship product that activates the production of antioxidants in every cell in the body. So it's not just taking an antioxidant supplement, it's activating the body to produce their own antioxidants. So it reduces oxidative stress by 40% in 30 days. It increases glutathione by 300% in 120 days. And this has been discussed in 31 peer-reviewed studies, and some of them published on PubMed. So what they found by adding this into the mind-body system of the 12-week study was it activates 4 more antioxidant pathways. So it's amplifying a reduction in oxidative stress, activates 9 more fatty acid metabolism pathways, so more fat burning opportunities there, and it also upregulates 22 genes that's countering the cause of age-related organ decline. So here's the product itself, the Healthy Balance Stack, or we've just renamed it the Healthy Weight Stack in the UK. The customer subscription price is £202.50, so you can see there that it's approximately the same price as what it costs for the weight loss jabs. I have clients in Australia, and they're telling me that it's actually half the price as what this costs in Australia. So obviously different markets have different prices for these products. So just to give you some of our results that have been coming in. So this is a married couple. I don't know if they're married, actually. It's a couple that have done the program together. So look at the difference in the belly fat. Just absolutely massive is that. And then some more here. You can see again the belly fat. Here you can see the fat rolls on the back. Here you've got saying it's not just for the ladies. More here. And look, just result after result after result coming in. I mean, this lady was slim to start off with, but she's lost 18.1 pounds, 21.5 inches. You can see the belly fat that's going. Now, this lady, the lovely Charlene, from November to February, she'd lost 35 pounds. Now, I was lucky enough to meet her last weekend at an event in Manchester where the people had come over from the corporate team of LifeVantage to share with us the results of the clinical trials. And Charlene got up and did a testimony and said she was happy for us to share her results. And up until May 2025, she had lost 52 pounds. And she pointed to this in her testimony and said, look at that stomach there. She said, when I sat down, that would restrict the circulation in her legs. And she said she'd been sat there that afternoon with her legs crossed, which was something that she hasn't done for years, and that she was stood there without the aid of a walking stick. So you can see that it's actually changing this lady's life, obviously for the better. And she looks amazing for it as well. Now, you can see these ladies have been on a bit of a longer journey than the 12 weeks. This lady's been on it for 22 weeks, but you can see how she's gradually reducing that belly fat. This lady, it's been almost a year, but look at the difference with her. And notice she calls it my wellness journey, not my weight loss journey, because these products are much more than weight loss. So I just put this in here because somebody had put down, once people start, they'll want to stay on it forever. It's way more than a weight loss product. Too many good things happening for me to ever come off this product. So one thing that really excites me more than the weight loss benefits is the fact that it's actually product that regulates the body's weight. So this lady boasted how she'd been able to put on 17 pounds. And before you panic a bit, she needed to put the weight on because she'd been going through chemotherapy. And she actually says here how she'd actually had to go and get a haircut because her hair started growing that much. There's some ladies in the Facebook group talking about the menopause, perimenopause, and menopause symptoms. You can see there was 48 comments there of people saying, "Yeah, that's I've got rid of my hot sweats," and lots of other weight loss issues that they were discussing there. Sorry, not weight loss, menopause issues. This lady talking about just what she'd noticed in just 2 weeks, and obviously everybody's different. Some people it can take up to 10 to 12 weeks for the activation to start. It all depends on the state of somebody's gut before they start. Some people can activate straight away, some people take longer. So we always say to give it at least 12 weeks before you expect anything to start happening. This lady was a personal trainer, used to be a personal trainer, and said that she always used to think that weight gain was to do with calories in and calories out until she hit the menopause, and then she realised it actually wasn't that simple. So if you decide to do the program, there's lots of support available. So you'll be added into a private Facebook group. You can see here there's almost 20,000 members in here. Not everybody in there is doing the program. A lot of people are doing the program, but there's people in there that are just watching and having a look to see what's happening. We'll also be giving you a daily email sequence. You'll be getting emails every day supporting you through the program. And we give you support telling you what to do. So you're not just prescribed this like you have the weight loss jabs and then not knowing what to do or don't have anybody to reach out to. You'll always have a mentor. If you do this through me, obviously I'll be your mentor. But we talk you through what to do. So we've got the 3 bases where you identify habits and make adjustments. You take the mind-body system consistently and you check in with yourself regularly. So the first one, identify habits and make adjustments. So the mind part of it is asking yourself if you're actually hungry and noticing what you're craving. Aim to prioritise protein to help increase satiety and shift eating habits. And then for your body, make sure you're moving. Aim for a minimum of 30 minutes of purposeful exercise at least 3 times a week. And then the mind-body base. Take the mind-body system consistently. The second part. Right when you wake up, take the mind-body core. These are 2 capsules that you take with 240 ml of water on an empty stomach at least 30 minutes before consuming the mind-body enhance. 30 minutes or later, you take the mind-body enhance, and then you take it with at least 24 grams of protein 30 minutes after the core, and we use 1 scoop and then increase to 2 scoops as is needed for comfort. And the third part, check in with yourself regularly. Every win with the mind-body system brings you closer to positive change. Ask yourself if you notice changes in your hunger, cravings, body composition, sleep and energy, and track of what works for you. Our research showed that the most noticeable results happened over 12 weeks. Give yourself at least 90 days to make real progress and stay in tune with what's happening as you empower your body's natural processes. Now we're going to show you now some activation accelerators. So with adding in these extra activation accelerators, if you can ease in with 1 to 3, and then if you get for even better results, you can add 4 to 6 activators. And then for the best results, for true transformation, you want to be adding in 7 to 10 of these accelerators. So I'm just going to talk you through the different accelerators now. So the first one, we're telling you to prioritise protein. So eat 1.7 grams of protein per 1 kilogram of body weight. Stay hydrated, so drink in plenty of water throughout the day. Try and cut out alcohol to improve your metabolism, your gut health and sleep quality. Ditch refined sugar and processed foods. Move your body daily, so exercise for at least 30 minutes, but 5 days per week would boost your energy and burn fat. If you can, try and strength train twice a week. That's another activator. These are not things that you have to do, but these all help with the weight loss. Get quality sleep, so aim for at least 7 hours a night. Track your food and movements. We've got a journal. You can either use an app or we've got a journal that you can use to be aware of what's going on. Create accountability. So share your goals with a partner, your coach, with myself, or with a community like the Facebook group for motivation and consistency. And master meal time and eat balanced meals every 3 to 4 hours if you can, or if you're intermittent fasting, have 2 main meals with a high protein snack in between. So there's also, we've got get the tools for the business, but basically we've got tools for our business to help clients to, be able to have good results with these programs. So you've got the mind body base routine. It shows you how to do the mind body system. There's downloadable products for you to use. You can read all about it online. And there are rewards for customers who subscribe and save. So every time you spend over £200, which would be every month if you're on the mind body system, you get £10 reward in product credit. And on your fifth one, it doubles your reward. Being on subscribe and save, you get the lowest price. You get the products 10% cheaper. There's exclusive offers throughout the year for people that are on subscribe and save. And then you also get an anniversary reward, which basically gives you a full-size product on your anniversary of your subscription. And LifeVantage are that sure that you will have some promising results from taking the mind body system, that if you feel after 3 months that you're not experiencing any of the many benefits of GLP-1 activation, you get a month of the Healthy Glow on Us. That's their collagen product and the Protandim product, which again is having great results with people. So to get started, you enroll with a pack, subscribe with a stack. Again, it's the best one is to enroll on a subscription for £202.50. Obviously, prices vary depending on market. So if you're watching this from a different country other than the UK, you need to check what prices they are on there. If you use the link I'm going to show you shortly, you can click on your flag at the top of the page and click whichever country that you are in. So next steps, get in touch with myself or the person who sent you this video. Here's my contact details. You can get hold of me at info@guthealthsolutions.co.uk. That's obviously about the weight loss program, but obviously if you'd also like to talk to me about the actual gut reset program, you can contact me about that there as well. If you would like to subscribe to the Healthy Weight Loss Stack, then you go to www.guthealthsolutions.lifevantage.com and you search for the mind body system. You want to be doing the one that's got the Protandims, the Healthy Weight Stack system. You can find me at guthealth_solutions on Instagram and Facebook on the Gut Reset Bootcamp. You're not going to see much of me on social media because I'm not the best at social media. I'm a bit of a dinosaur. But anyway, thank you for listening to this presentation. If you'd like more information, obviously we can send you a lot more information than what's on this presentation. It was just a short presentation to give you some overview of the clinical studies and how the program works. And please do feel free to get back in touch for more information.